Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And I first want to say wishing everyone Merry Christmas. I hope y'all had fun with their families and everything. So once again, I want to say wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. Um, and a second that one thing I want to do before I get into the review that when I did my review for Jingle All the Way, a film that I do enjoy. There's one thing I want to quickly say that I forgot to mention in my review of Jingle All the Way, is that there was a review of the film Jingle All the Way by another YouTuber who was probably a lot of people know. He's very popular on YouTube. And he did one of my favorite episodes that he's done. And that's by Doug Walker, aka the Nostalgia Critic. So yeah, a Nostalgia Critic is to me he's a very funny guy with how he does movie reviews. It makes me laugh. And he did review for Jingle All the Way, which I say is one of my favorite episodes that he's done. So that's what I quickly want to say, because I forgot to mention that in my review for when I did my review for Jingle All the Way. I forgot to mention that. Nostalgia Critic. So that's what I say. I'll give it like a quick shout out to a Nostalgia Critic. That's one of my favorite episodes that he's done. Jingle All the Way. Gotta go laugh, because there's a lot of episodes that that I like. And I enjoy watching Nostalgia Critic. He's a very funny guy. So I just quickly want to say that. And now getting into my review that I promised I would do. I promised I would do this review on Christmas. So I'm getting into it. And I did my review of another poster update. That's what I got, and that's what I'm going to review. So I'm going to be reviewing John Carpenter's Christine. Yep, and it's also and I would say it's one of my favorite John Carpenter films. I'll put this in my top 3. That's my third favorite film from John Carpenter. John Carpenter, I always enjoyed as a director. He's directed such great classic films. And of course, there's also another good thing. He's directed a film that's based on a novel by Stephen King. Stephen King's Christine, which I haven't read. I haven't read the book though, but I've read some other Stephen King books though. But I haven't read this one though. And I thought it was a nice, I thought it was a good thing, a nice combination. John Carpenter directing from an adaptation from what's based on a book from Stephen King. Master of Horror. This was released in December 1983, which really enough, the book was, I guess, published at the beginning of 1983. So the book came out at the beginning of 1983, and then the film came out at the end of 1983. And the film was a modest box office success. At a budget of $9.7 million, and it made $21 million. And usually, John Carpenter's films, the only big the film they had was a big hit. That was Halloween. That's what made the most money out of all his films. All of the rest of the films did make some decent modest box office successes. Like all the times John Carpenter directed some films that were flops. But this is one of his films that was box office success, which I'm glad about. And it did get some positive reviews. Like right here, by Video Watchdog, it says an exceptional moment in Carpenter's career. And back here, Time Magazine, Carpenter's best since Halloween. I would still say Halloween is still better. But that's because one day I like to do videos of my top favorite films based on Stephen King and my top favorite films from John Carpenter. So, one day I'll do videos of those. So, but for now I'll stick with this one. And this is a special edition. Which doesn't have much features though for a special edition though. But it does contain 20 deleted and alternate scenes, and it has a commentary with John Carpenter and Keith Gordon. And I do like the commentary, with John Carpenter and Keith Gordon. So it's a good commentary. And of course, and also has a 6.6 on IMDb and has a 65% on Rotten Tomatoes. In my opinion, that's just way too low for this film because I just think it deserves much more higher ratings, you know. And I say I would still say it's my favorite film that's based on Stephen King, you know. I always had a lot of fun with Christine, you know. Of course, there was another film back in the 70s that was about like a possessed car. It was called The Car, which was a film that starred James Brolin. But I was being personally, Christine is better than The Car, you know. It's just has a better look about it, you know, better characters and atmosphere, etc. You know. And of course you got a good cast, you know, Keith Gordon as Arnie Cunningham, John Stockwell as Dennis, Alexandra Paul as Lee, Robert Prosky as Darnell, Harry Dean Stanton as who plays a detective, you know. And I always one thing I always like the poster for Christine, you know. And so especially I also like the trailer as well, you know, like she is Christine, you know, a 1958 Plymouth Fury possessed by hell, you know. She is pure evil. It's how do you kill something that cannot possibly be alive, you know? So getting into the story that it opens up in Detroit in 1957, where the 1958 Plymouth Furies were being made. You know, like there's a whole bunch of white Plymouth Furies, but Christine, she's the only one out of the whole lot that's red. You know, and one other thing I like what I do like about the film is the music and the score in this film, because the music was made by John Carpenter, like he did for Halloween. Of course, also Alan Howard also helped with the music and the score as well. But most of the music was which I'll get into is made by John Carpenter, you know. But there also some really good song choices. Well, like at the opening of the film has the song "Bad to the Bone" by George Thorogood and the Destroyers, you know. That was a good song to open up with, you know. "Bad to the Bone" as showing Christine, you know, her nice look, you know, car, you know. As one worker opens up her hood, you know, and of course he has his hands on the edge of the front car, and the hood slams, crushing the guy's fingers, you know. And one other worker goes inside Christine, you know, he's smoking a cigar and drops some of the ashes onto the seat, you know, while listening to the radio, like beep bop 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 bop, you know, listen to this old music, you know. And one of the workers sees that her headlights are on, and the music's still playing, you know. And as the guy opens up the door, the guy just falls out of the car, dead, you know. Still with a cigar in his mouth like this, he just falls out of the car like this, you know. Not knowing what he died from, maybe I assume probably I don't know what he died from though, but the guy just fell out of the car dead, you know. Then it cuts up to 20 years later, 1978, you know, and Keith Gordon plays as Arnie Cunningham, you know, who's the typical, you know, the geek, nerdy, you know, student, you know, cause with the glasses and everything, you know. And he gets bullied at school, you know, and his best friend, who's a football player, played by Dennis, played by John Stockwell. So they're at school, you know, and he gets bullied by this gang led by this character named Buddy Repperton, you know, and he's pushing him around, you know, and uses a switchblade knife and stabs through his lunch bag, you know, and he also his friend Dennis tries to help, but he gets gets bullied as well, but he gets a good punch to Buddy, you know. And so the guy steps on Arnie's glasses, you know, and they get in trouble. So as they're driving back, you know, Arnie sees Christine, you know, who is just old and rustic, you know, and he wants to buy her, you know, and the guy who is played by a guy named LeBay, played by Roberts Blossoms, who was the old guy in Home Alone, you know, what Kevin originally was afraid of, you know, who helped save him from Marv and Harry, you know. he plays as this guy whose brother was the original owner of Christine, and he wanted to sell, so Arnie buys him, and Dennis doesn't think it's a good idea to buy a car though, but he buys it anyway. Then later he gets into an argument with his parents about it, So he takes it to the garage where he works, where his boss is played by Robert Prosky, which he was in Last Action Hero and Mrs. Doubtfire. And of course I also remember seeing him in I See You, the film with Sylvester Stallone, So he takes it there and he wants to work, fixing her up, and since then he's became obsessed with it because Arnie's mother tells Dennis that the original owner of the car of Christine died in her, from carbon monoxide poisoning. So he goes back to see Robert's Blossoms, tells about what happened, and of course he knows what happened because he said he died because he wanted to, because he became obsessed with Christine, he the guy's his his 5-year-old daughter and his wife died in Christine, and so did he, but after all that he didn't care anything else in the world besides Christine, and he died, so he killed himself in Christine, from the exhaust fumes, and everything, inside. And LeVay said that his brother, he told him to get rid of it, and he said, and that of course the car came back three weeks later, and Dennis is asking, what do you mean came back, So when the next probably the next day, Dennis is playing at a football game, and well, during one play, he's running down the field and he sees that Christine is brand new, and he gets distracted that Arnie is kissing Lee, played by Alexandra Paul, who was the most beautiful girl in high school, So he gets distracted and he sees them both kissing, and he gets tackled pretty hard and ends up getting one of his legs broken. So he's been in a hospital for some time, because there's some scenes where he's still lying in a hospital bed. Arnie's visiting him, So and then like later the night, when Arnie takes Lee to a drive-in, and they're trying to making out though, but I guess Lee says that she wasn't ready, but as soon as Arnie steps out of the car, and she's eating some food, and she starts choking, and the radio starts coming on, everything goes really bright inside, and Christine locks the door, and Arnie's trying to get in, but she can't, and Christine looks like some trying to kill her, But then one guy opens the door and takes her out, tries to give her the Heimlich maneuver, and later when they drive her home, he tells her that well, no, he doesn't tell her, but Lee tells Arnie to get rid of the car, but of course he doesn't though, and later on in the night when she takes it back to the garage, Buddy and his gang, so after Arnie leaves, they start trashing Christine, breaking everything, So when Arnie goes back to see it and Christine is totally total, he freaks out, tells Lee to get away, or screw off, get away, and she gets upset about that, and when later when he tries to when he's with the car by himself and he steps in front of the car and he says, okay, show me, and Christine's lights come on and she starts fixing herself up, repairing herself to be brand new again, and the effects of Christine repairing herself, fixing her back together again, well done effects, and it's like John Carpenter. He's a guy who sticks with old school special effects, he's a guy who hardly uses any CGI, likes to do practical stuff, and this is one of them, the effects how Christine puts herself back together, well done effects, Um, Christine hunts down one of the bullies named Moochie, and of course when Moochie's all by himself, he sees Christine, and is playing one of the songs, which is another good song that I do like, which was little bitty pretty one, and what was played by Thurston Harris, little bitty pretty one, and which I do like that song, and Moochie's like, is that you, Cunningham, hey, you ain't mad, are you, and then Christine's lights go on and starts chasing him, and then you get that score during the chase, that's like the music that's made by John Carpenter, which I can see, because I could definitely tell that, because John Carpenter's music, which I always like his music, and that score that's playing when he's chasing Moochie, and Christine's chasing Moochie, I like that. I do like the story. Dun 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 dun. So I do enjoy that score. So he Christine chases Moochie, and she corners him in this one spot, and like in a tight, narrow space, and she just starts pushing through, try to squash him, and which of course which I remember I do watch the site Watch Mojo, I do like watching Watch Mojo a lot, and this was the number one the subject top 10 avoidable deaths, in movies. This scene here in Christine was the number one pick, which I do agree on, because Moochie he's just standing there while Christine's trying to come through the small space, and he's just standing there. Of course, he would have had enough time to jump onto the hood and over the car, and keep on running, No, he just stands there to wait to die, He just stands there while Christine is shoving through that tight area, and so he just stands there screaming, ah, So the next day, that's when Arnie visits Dennis in the hospital bed still, and he tells about, do you ever what happened to Moochie? Makes you feel sorry for the bastard. And because you can tell all throughout the film, you see that he's completely changed, from being like a nerd, to this well, we'll say like sort of like a crazy whatever macho, because he's like a macho man, and of course he has a crazy, especially in his eyes, he has like has those eyes wide open, crazy look, and this face, blank face expression, and Keith Gordon, he did a good job as Arnie. So he's about to leave, and he gets stopped by detective Rudy, played by Harry Dean Stanton. Harry Dean Stanton from Alien, Red Dawn, and Harry Dean Stanton. Of course, he comes in after an hour in, but he still did a good job. Harry Dean Stanton, he wants to ask him some questions about his car, and of course, he leaves after questioning him. Then later on, Arnie tries to call Lee again. That what was the conversation about? Because once he wanted to talk to her again, but she says no, not with Christine. I guess not about Christine, which is he says, "Oh fuck you, you bitch," and hangs up, But yeah, I thought that he didn't mean it, but it was too late, So then it cuts to the leader of the gang, Buddy, the bullies, Buddy, and another one of his friends, They're driving. Christine is following behind them, and tries to show, like, get a taste of it. Like, let's give this asshole a taste of his own medicine. But so he tries to back up, but Christine is backing up as well. And Christine is chasing them, at the gas station where another one of the bullies works, And Christine goes and rams into the guy's car, and the guy's like, "Look at my car," And I was like, "Yeah." Oh, and in my mind thinking, when he said that, he was like, oh yeah, well, we'll take a look at the car that you trash, and all you care about is, but you get all hurt when your car gets trashed, you know. But he's like, look at my car, you know. So Christine goes and rams the car again, and then one of the bullies just stupidly just stands there, you know, stands like this, you know, waiting, getting hit by the other car, you know. Excuse me, I had to sneeze there. So the other guy is just stupidly just standing there, you know, as Christine is pushing the other car into the garage, you know, and he's just standing there like this, you know. So Christine rams the car into the garage, and the gas starts leaking. One of the other bullies is standing there while he's standing where the gas is being leaked, and ignites lights on fire. The guy screams, cuts to the gas station exploding. And the guy Buddy just stand there looking at what happened, and then Christine, which also it's that scene right there where Christine is running into the car. One of the things. Pardon me. This is why I got a better look right here, because Christine. This is what I also have on VHS right here, you know. And it's like this type of VHS cover, how it opens up from the side instead of from the bottom, you know. It opens up like this. You get the tape out of here. There's one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of the review, because I also have this on VHS. Better look good. This is like the poster right there, back there, you know. I mean, this I do like the cover of this poster, you know, indicating that I guess like Christine is like the car from hell, you know, with the flames, you know. This cover is okay, but I always prefer the original cover here, you know, the dark shadowy figure of Christine, you know, like the poster I have right there, you know. So I always prefer this poster here, you know. And in the back here, there's this scene right there where Christine is running into Buddy's car, you know, and there's also the scene where Christine is chasing Moochie right there, you know. In the scene right there where Arnie's with Lily in the drive-in, you know. So that's the scene right there where Christine is running into the car into the garage, you know. So yeah. So the cause an explosion, and Christine comes out all in flames, you know, which no CGI, because if they do it now, they'll probably do a CGI car on fire, you know. So yeah, actual car on fire, which I do appreciate, you know. So Buddy runs away, and Christine causes the gas station to explode more by running into gas pumps, you know. Get a nice wide shot of the explosion of the gas station exploding, you know. Real nice explosion. And then it cuts as soon as it cuts to the open road, and you hear the once again the nice the score by John Carpenter, you know. Dun, 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 you know. I do a terrible job though, but you watch the film, you get what I'm talking about. So Christine is still on fire, and she like sees a buddy who's running up ahead, which another instance, he's running up an open road, but he can't, you know. There's plenty of room him to run off to either side of the road, but yet he still keeps on running straight, you know. Can't run to the other side, you know, the road, you know, but whatever, you know, but she's like slowly coming closer until she finally runs him over, and his body's on fire as well, you know. So Christine returns to the garage where Arnie's boss Darnell, played by Robert Prosky, is still at, you know. And another well done effect where Christine comes into the garage all charred up, you know. Still all smoking and charred, you know. So Darnell has a shotgun with him, approaches the car, opens up the door. There's nobody in it, you know. So he goes and sits there, all relaxed, you know. And then the radio comes on, which was what was that song? I think it was keep on knocking, or I forget what the song calls, but he sees the radio turn on. Then Christine closes the door and locks him in, and slowly pushes the reclining seat up and up further. And while he gets like crushed, you know. Um, yeah, yeah, he should keep like, I guess I would say not crushed against the steering wheel, but Christine keeps on pushing the reclining seat up and further, or he's up against the steering wheel and he's like this, you know, like you know, and but somehow it got crushed some way, you know. I guess not up against the steering wheel, but he gets like I guess he got his chest crushed or something like that. But he dies, and then the police are investigating, you know, they're at the garage, and Christine is brand new once again, you know, and he questions Arnie once again. That tells her that gives him that his boss is dead, and the other three bullies are dead, you know, saying, well, no one is gonna be trashing your car anymore, you know. Um. So Lee wants to talk to Dennis, who was out of the hospital, you know, and tells him that it's the car, you know. It's the car, it's Christine, you know, and they want to try to save Arnie, you know. So like when on New Year's Eve, you know, that Arnie takes Dennis out to a drive. I forget where, you know. But they're driving on the highway, you know, and Arnie is talking about like a toast to Christine, you know, and that's how nothing will come between me and Christine, you know. It's like he sounded like how LeVay's brother was sounding, you know, all obsessed, you know, it's like the same thing that he was saying to Dennis, you know. Nothing came between him and Christine, you know, and Arnie's speaking out just like LeVay's brother, you know. Nothing would come between me and Christine, you know. And so it starts speeding on the wrong side of the road, you know. You know. So, but Dennis is fine. He doesn't get hurt or anything. So so him and Lee, they make a plan to destroy Christine. So they do it at the back of the garage, you know. So they plan to use a bulldozer to crush Christine, you know. So they're at the garage, they're waiting, you know. So as they're waiting, Lee starts walking towards the office, and Christine pops out was under the pile of rubble, you know, because claiming that he's been waiting there the entire time, you know. This time Arnie's driving Christine this time though, but they're chasing her, and he runs and bashes into one car, you know, and Dan's using the bulldozer to protect her, you know, and then Christine, when she comes back out, she has like the front is all messed up, but it looks like a monster face, you know, which I thought was a nice thing, like a nice thing, you know. It has like a monster face because there's a gap here that looks like teeth, you know, and the headlights are the eyes. The headlights are the eyes, and up here is open here. It looks like teeth and a mouth, you know, indicating that Christine is a monster, you know, which I do like, you know. So, and so Christine backs up to a dark place where she's repairing herself, and you see Arnie inside the car, you know. So he drives Christine into the office where Lee is, and he crash and sends Arnie flying through the windshield, you know, and he pops up, you know, and there's a big piece of glass that he's been impaled by a piece of glass, but right here, you know, he pulls it out, and he, like one last attempt, you know, just to touch Christine just before he dies, you know. He touches the front of Christine, and then also dies, you know. So then Christine turns on by herself and plays the song, I'll forever love you, as long as my day, you know. So they drive the bulldozer, runs into her side, and Christine perseveres, even being hit by a bulldozer, she still keep on going, you know, slowly kind of going up to Lee, you know, and using the bulldozer to climb on top of Christine, you know, crushing her, you know. But they think that was it though. But she starts repairing herself again, and they go full force on the bulldozer, crushing her, flattens her, you know. And then the next day at the junkyard, she's been taken to the thing in Junker where they, where they crush cars, into perfectly square cube shapes, And they're there, and Harry Dean Stanton is there, saying that wait, you guys did a good thing, you're heroes, and Dennis is like, yeah, a real hero could have saved Arnie, and Lee's like, we didn't do so hot, and Harry Dean Stanton is like, hey, some things can't be helped, and people too, and they start hearing music again, indicating that Christine is still alive though, but really enough, it's just a worker carrying a radio, and Lee's like, God, I hate rock and roll. And you get a close up of Christine, like a part of her grill, like slowly bends like this, like it's like this, like. And then you hear the song "Bad to the Bone" again. So yeah, "Bad to the Bone." I always enjoy that song, So yeah, I love Christine. I always say in my opinion, it's my favorite film based on Stephen King. The cast did a good job. Keith Gordon. Like I said, how he's changed, like being like a nerd, always feel like an obsessed, crazy, like how he's like he's like this. How his eyes wide open, crazy look. Especially when he's in Christine, he's driving and it's all really dark. You see like this, dark space, like crazy blank face, Keith Gordon did a good job, The other characters, John Stockwell was good. Alexandra Paul was fine as well, and Harry Dean Stanton comes in, appears like about only in 3 scenes, but he still was fine enough, because I like Harry Dean Stanton as an actor. The guy, Robert Blossoms, as the guy who was selling the card, selling Christine to Arnie, he was fine as well, And the bully or the bullies, William Ostrander as Buddy, playing the typical bully, he was fine as well, I like the music and the score by John Carpenter, and of course I know Alan Howarth. I have to give credit to Alan Howarth who participated in making it as well, But mostly because John Carpenter is good at making music, like he did for Halloween, Oh. From when we're meeting, it's a gummy bear. I like gummy bears. So yeah. The film was on for 110 minutes, but I know it's like some parts, like it takes like over an hour to Christine finally to go and kill the bullies, but it still went at a decent pace. I know there was I know there were like little tidbits that just dragged just a teensy bit though, but I didn't find I didn't find the film boring though, but I know there was like one kind of little bits that dragged just a bit though, but didn't bother me though, because the film still went at a decent pace. There was just like a couple scenes that just dragged a bit though, but I still love Christine, and it's still my favorite film based on Stephen King, just like the idea of a possessed car, which I think is a bit better than the 1977 that the car was made, I think it's better. This is a better film about a possessed car, Especially it's a 1958 Plymouth Fury. I'd like the use of a classic car like a 1958 Plymouth Fury being possessed, And it shows that that when Christine, she was just shows like Christine was just born evil, Didn't explain how she was evil, but I just saying that she was just saying, like in the trailer said, possessed by hell, Can't think of a better explanation than that, because like it's like here on the DVD cover with all the flames and all that, indicating like yes, she's like a car from hell, But at least I still like this cover though, but I still prefer this cover here. Great directing by John Carpenter, the effects of Christine fixing herself up back together, well done, Like I said, that John Carpenter is the kind of guy who uses old school special effects, which I always appreciate. I know like once in a while he uses like a bit of CGI, like he did in Ghosts of Mars, but I like Ghosts of Mars though, but which that film was a flop, didn't do well though, but still, he's a guy who hardly uses CGI at all, hardly no CGI whatsoever though, but he's a guy that likes to stick with the old school stuff, which I do appreciate. And him, the effects of Christine putting herself back together, I think was well done, like how much the car like cost to keep up a car repairing herself back together again, Yeah, like I said, the ratings it got on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, I think this is too low. I think it'd be a lot more higher. I do like this. I do like the song choices, like I said, with "Bad to the Bone" and "Little Bitty Pretty One." And it goes shows go, and especially when we got John Carpenter directing an adaptation book from Stephen King, which we get a good combination, And I'm glad I have the original VHS cover to this, especially ones that opens on its side, instead of from the bottom, So yeah, John Carpenter brings Stephen King's best-selling novel to life in this chilling thriller. I do agree. I would say I don't see hardly any other films that's about a horror film that's about a possessed car, And of course, I said I think this is better than The Car, the one with James Brolin, though. I think it's like I would say this is the best film about a possessed car. Well, would I count Maximum Overdrive though? But I don't know, because like I said, like there was like alien stuff that made the cars possessed though, but I don't know. It's a hard. I don't know. It's hard to say between this and Maximum Overdrive, which I love Maximum Overdrive, and I still want to do a review of that though. Because directed by Stephen King himself though, which that film gets a lot of shit though, which I don't think it deserves, Because I love Maximum Overdrive, But I don't know, it's hard to say. I love Maximum Overdrive, but because I think there was use of alien activity. I think like the UFO stuff, that made all the machinery in Maximum Overdrive become possessed. Though it's not cars, but trucks and other appliances as well, though. But this film is about just a car by itself, though. Just one car by itself, possessed, by evil. I do like, though. I can't decide this is like the best film about a possessed car, because Maximum Overdrive, I probably, it's hard for me to count either that or Maximum Overdrive, because there's stuff about the trucks are possessed though, but I think it's hard for me to say though, but it's like a coin toss, flip a coin, 50-50 chance, so, but I would probably, if I would say maybe. It's hard for me to say though, but I'm sure other people would think otherwise. Probably they do agree with Christine, or they will other pick Maximum Overdrive though. Which I would say though, I can still pick either one though as number one and number two for best possessed car film though, because I love both these films, so I can't pick, So I would say that I guess those two are the best films, I would say, but yeah. So this is my review for Stephen King's Christine, or John Carpenter's Christine, or John Carpenter and Stephen King's Christine. And I just love how John Carpenter he directs the Stephen King film. And he did it well. That's why I put it as my top 3 favorite films from John Carpenter. And like I said, one day I'll do videos of my top favorite films from John Carpenter and my top favorite films from Stephen King. But I would still say you probably know what's my favorite Stephen King film, because I just say, in my opinion, Christine is my favorite. I know there's other ones I absolutely do love and enjoy though, but like I said, when I do a video of that, I will explain why. So yeah, so that's my review for John Carpenter's or Stephen King's Christine. I'm glad I have the original VHS right here, which I do like. I do like the I still agree. I do like this original look here for the poster. You know, I'm glad I got the poster. I still prefer this, but even though I do like the cover to this, you know, it's a good looking cover. But I still prefer the original look of this as well. You know. And you still haven't seen Christine, go and check it out. You know, or if you like or dislike it, that's up to you. You know. So yeah, so that's my review for John Carpenter's Christine. Thanks for watching, and take care, and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.